Good evening, this is the Oscar expert here, covering the Cannes Film Festival. It's time to review Blue Bayou, written, directed, and starring Justin Chon. He's an indie filmmaker known for directing Miss Purple and Gook, but he's also known for having a smaller role in the Twilight series. The film's about a Korean man adopted at a young age who's living in the US, and he learns that he could be deported by ICE. And this comes at a time where he's developing a family with his girlfriend played by Alicia Vikander. It might not be a surprise to you given that synopsis that the movie contains a sort of call to action about immigration and the US justice system, but I do think this movie finds an identity outside of just the messaging as a character study. It's about a guy who has sort of a rough past, grappling with how he should carry forward in his life and move on and become sort of a different person. And the conflict of him potentially being deported is just something that exacerbates those tensions. And we see how it affects his relationship with Alicia Vikander and her child, who he's beginning to view as his own. It's a very empathetic film. It centers around a character who doesn't always make the right choices, but we can see that he's trying his best. And with Justin Chon's performance at the center, it's very easy to see this character's heart. Justin Chon's performance is really excellent. It doesn't feel awkward at all that he's also the film's writer-director. And Alicia Vikander is also really good as his girlfriend trying to keep their family together. Both performances are very heavy. There's lots of heightened emotion going on here. There's one particular scene that's really impressive between the two of them where it's kind of a long take of an argument that they're having. The biggest criticism this movie seems to be getting is that it's a little melodramatic and a little bit heavy-handed, whether that's just the performances are really big, or there's moments where the music just swells and it's really, really loud, or just that the movie's very direct in its messaging. In some parts, I did feel that it was a little heavy-handed, especially in the second half. More of my issue would be that the movie sometimes feels a tad lost in certain side conflicts, whereas I thought the central story of this man trying to keep his family together was really strong. And the most annoying thing in this movie was that there's this character played by Emery Cohen who is a police officer, and he's just like a bad guy, which is annoying because I don't think this movie needed to have a clear antagonist. I mean, as if it wasn't enough that the antagonist is like the whole US immigration system as a whole. I really like the cinematography in this movie. It's shot on 16mm and it gives it a very like kind of homemade feel. There's a lot of scenes that use natural lighting really beautifully. Overall, I think the movie had a really strong, resonant message about choosing your family, choosing to give yourself to others, and the way that the film ties together, the ability to choose your family with the inability to choose your country. I think that's kind of what it's going for. I thought it was a really clever way to hit the political message of the movie home in a way that resonates with just how human relationships work. The movie is kind of making an emotional case for what citizenship truly means. And ultimately, the strongest point in the whole movie is the ending. I mean, holy shit, the ending provides a massive gut punch. I thought the ending really worked, and I thought it was really moving. A lot of the audience was in tears. I think this movie probably would have played better at like Sundance or TIFF or something, where the audience is more susceptible to just enjoying a movie that is unashamed at going right for your heartstrings. There are things about it that do kind of feel awardsy, or that this is the kind of movie that could appeal to awards voters in a way, just with the messaging that it's going for, how hard it hits you in the feels. Some of the performances are really strong in it, but I just don't know if this movie seemed to garner that kind of buzz that it would have needed to make me think it was like a surefire awards player or anything. The movie's coming out on September 17th. It's not too far away. I would definitely recommend it if it sounds like your thing. I'm giving the movie an 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. What's your favorite Bayou?